Welcome to newspaper class. We are going to learn how to write articles about the daily happenings around the school. And we're going to be also writing about different sporting events, activities, student accomplishments around the school, maybe changes in policy or rules. Maybe if there's a new teacher, we can interview a new teacher and see why they're here. There's a lot of things to consider when you write an article for a school newspaper. Something that we need to discuss, though, is the Associated Press. The Associated Press, or the Washington AP, is the most trusted source of independent news and information in the world. It was founded in 1846. The Associated Press is a not-for-profit cooperative of news organizations, and it is solely focused on finding, reporting, and distributing news. The Associated Press is independent and objective and has a deep and active commitment to freedom of the press. It is headquartered in New York and operates in more than 280 locations worldwide, including every state house in the U.S., and 2/3 of its staffers are journalists. The AP is a non-for-profit cooperative, and let's see, altogether has about 1,400 daily newspapers that are covered. There are members that are elected as a board of directors, and that directs the Associated Press. If you want to make a request for some material written, you have to write and clearly state the purpose and manner in which the copy will be used. All republished materials must carry the Associated Press credit. If there is a fee, it's only for one time. You cannot reuse it. Unless specifically noted otherwise, all permission is for that one-time use. Now, some different things that we can cover in our school newspaper are about our sports teams, who's winning, losing, the scores, maybe some about an interview about the team member. If you interview a team member, how do you ask them for an interview? You schedule it. You schedule it with them so that you can get their picture and what other information is needed. You can also interview clubs. You can interview teachers. If you interview a teacher, make sure you set up an appointment. Do not ask the teacher without setting up an appointment. Make sure if you do interview a teacher, you give them a copy later and share it with other classes as well. One thing we will do is we are going to share some of our articles with other classes and get feedback. Some other ideas on our newspaper, if you want to write articles for it, is for field trips, about maybe local news, the mayor, city council, some other things that are going on. Now remember, on the newspaper, if you were to take a look at a newspaper, there's a large heading or title that'll be at the top of the newspaper. Those are normally in bold letters located at the very top. That'll be the issue or the heading or title of your article. Oftentimes there is a name attached to the article. That would be the author. A couple different things that you will notice is there's an editorial section, there's a sports section, and a living section as well for the newspaper. Now, editorials have information about opinions from different viewpoints. Oftentimes, the opinions of the writer will be delivered in a professional manner. That means it will not attack anyone. We want to stay as neutral on a lot of these other issues as possible. Good editorials engage issues, not personalities, and refrain from name-calling or other petty tactics of persuasion. Another solution to the problem or issue being criticized, anyone can gripe about a problem, but a good editorial should take a proactive approach to making the situation better by having constructive criticism and giving solutions. A solid, concise conclusion that powerfully summarizes the writer's opinions gives it some punch. Editorials will explain or interpret. That means editors will often use editorials to explain the way the newspaper is covering a sensitive issue or a controversial subject. If it is a controversial subject, it's important that we take a view on it. School newspapers may explain new school rules or the student body, like a food drive. Now, another type of editorial is a critique or to criticize something. These editorials constructively criticize actions or decisions or situations while providing solutions to the problem identified. The immediate purpose is to get readers to see the problem, not the solution. Some editorials will persuade. Editorials of persuasion aim to immediately see the solution, not the problem. So it's the opposite. From the first paragraph, readers will be encouraged to take a specific positive action. Some editorial features will praise people or organizations for something well done. If you're going to pick a significant topic that has a current news angle that would interest readers, or you want to make sure you have key phrases to reinforce an idea into the reader's mind, it's very important that on the newspaper, that for the titles, it's in bold, thick lettering on the front page or the front cover. Oftentimes, when you set up a newspaper, you want to have all the different sections clearly highlighted, as well as make sure that you get the AP approval or Associated Press approval for the article.